crazy. Like when it doesn't give me, when you go live, it gives you this welcome message over in the chat box. But when it's completely blacked out, it means something is wrong. I don't know. But we're live again over here. So I can see it now. Okay. Okay. Shayla, I can see your comment. We're back. Okay. All right. So I can see it. Can you see me? You should be able to see me. If I can see you, you can see me definitely. Okay. Okay. All right. All right, y'all. Okay. Let's see. A couple people came back in. Okay. I think we're good. Y'all definitely can see it if y'all put a message there. I can see y'all too. I can see y'all popping in and leaving comments. Okay, y'all, let me just do this again. We was only like a minute in. Happy Sunday, everybody. It's June the 6th, 2021, day 173 of year 3 of reading through the books of the law and the prophets. And of the 3-year consecutive day count is day 842. And that's without the Sabbath days added into the count or the feast day Sabbath days because we rest on those days. Today we're reading 4th Ezra chapters 5, 6, and 7. And then we're going to hop on over here into Fossilized Customs, picking back up on page 129. All right, y'all. So I hope they got the new stream. So they come back in. No, I've seen a couple people. They had left a comment. All right, y'all. And I killed the old stream. I'm not even sure if you're able to see it. But I let them know that I say jump back in about 30 seconds with the new stream. Okay. All right, beautiful people. All right. Now that we got that taken care of, before we got started, I'm glad I recognized it before I actually started reading. Okay. All right, beautiful people. Hezekiah, shalom. Okay, we back. Levon, hey, Tiffany, hey. Uncle Nathaniel, greetings. Y'all, look, let me share something with y'all real quick. Look, y'all not be sharing different things with y'all that I hear when I wake up. This morning, when I woke up, I heard this word, right? I'm not sure if y'all ever heard it before, but this is the first time I've ever heard it. I heard it just like this, just clear as that. Because sometimes I hear like that, right? Sometimes I just hear one word and then I'll go look it up. But I've known that to be familiar from the time I've grown up because it used to happen to my mama a lot. And I said that don't stop, it still happens. But when I woke up, I heard the word subia. And I just laid there for a second, subia. I'm like, okay, look that up. So I go and look it up, and lo and behold, it's an actual word, right? I spelled it S-U-B-I-A, but it's actually spelled S-U-B-I-Y-A-H. Guess what it is? It's a Bantu language, y'all, in the region of the Zambezi River, right? It's a Niger Congo language. That's what it says when you look it up. I'm like, and it's called what is it? It starts with a K. It's called something else, but it's also known as subia, right? I'm like, first of all, thank you. Second of all, that's a real freaking word that I heard that I never heard before. Third, it's a Congo, it's a Bantu language. If y'all been here any amount of time and some of the things y'all heard me dream about and the words that I hear, this just kind of flows right along with my awakening process, right? Because I heard Kikuyu a few years ago when I woke up. I'm like, Kikuyu? I was like, what in the world is that? But I wrote it down and I spelled it out just like I heard it, right? So I wouldn't forget it. So after looking it up, when I heard it, I came across nothing, right? I think because I was spelling it wrong, right? So sometimes even when you put like a misspelling into Google, it'll kind of pick up what you're trying to spell and it'll offer you suggestions. But I think I screwed it all the way up because I made sure I added extra letters in there so I would pronounce it right the next time I looked at it. Kikuyu, right? So I spelled it like with an extra I, and I spelled it out YOU at the end, and I believe I used a W too. So there was no recognition. Google didn't recognize it when I put it in, which is why I couldn't find anything on it. I'm like, well, all right, I know that's what I heard. And so I just looked a little bit more and never found anything. It wasn't until later on in the year, I want to say almost a year later, when I heard the word again, but I heard somebody else say it and it triggered what I heard about it. You'll say, wait, what did they say? What? And so then I didn't go back to my dream. I just tried Googling it again, but I spelled it differently without the extra letters to make sure I can remember how to pronounce it the way I heard it. But this time when I typed it in without the extra double letters, it picked it up and it spelled it appropriately. And lo and behold, it's a real friggin' word. It's a Bantu tribe, right? It's actually a people, the Kikuyu, right? And from my studies so far, I want to say the Kikuyu, right? Matter of fact, I don't learn so much. I done got a couple of videos talking about the Kikuyu, right? And especially my Kenya video, because that's another dream I had. But anyway, they were found there in that region. I almost want to say I'm almost 100% certain that they are part of Levi, right? They're priests. It's crazy. But a lot of words and names and stuff have been changed, and sometimes they are completely different in the English language than what they are in the original language, which keeps us off of track of even trying to get to the right information, right? You just got to kind of keep at it till different things begin to make sense and kind of click with you, which is why you need to read through the genealogies a lot of times, because there's something left in the genealogy that's almost untouched, but it's really close to one of the original names and a real pronunciation, a real spelling, and there's your string. And when you start pulling on that string, you just got to keep going and unravel that sweater to see what's really there. It's crazy. I just want to share it with y'all. Look, so I'm completely excited about that. That's as far as I got this morning, because when I woke up, I heard that and I heard something else. And the something else I heard, I ain't gonna share with you quite yet, but I'm still trying to understand it a little bit more. I think I got it, but sometimes my original first thoughts is not necessarily what Yahuwah was trying to say to me. It's one of those scavenger hunt type things to figure this out. Look, so, but it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool. All right, so let's go ahead and start reading. 4th Ezra, chapter 5. And this is an Apocrypha, just in case you forgot. I know y'all didn't, but just in case somebody watching it for the first day, this is where we at, right? Okay. Nevertheless, as coming the tokens, behold, the day shall come that they which dwell upon the earth shall be taken in great number, and the way of truth shall be hidden, and the land shall be barren of belief. But iniquity shall be increased above that which you now see or that you heard long ago. Real quick, so yesterday, remember, Ezra is asking how, pretty much in a nutshell, how is the wicked getting away with everything? And it seems like that the people you have chosen and called by your own name, it's like we can't win for losing. Remember, Uriel, the angel showed up. It's like, okay, Uriel, listen. I reveal to you what you want to know if you can answer these 3 things. It's almost like you got to pass this initiation type test, right? And Uriel, the angel, throwing out all kind of stuff. He said, well, tell me how much fire weigh. Tell me, what did he say about the wind? Hold on, he say, weigh me fire, measure the blast of the wind, or call again the day that is already passed. And Ezra's like, wait a minute. He had to think about his son. He said, wait a minute. First of all, can we even know that? Why would you ask me something like that? Measure fire, like measure the weight of fire. So if y'all was here yesterday, y'all got that. TT, hey girl, hey. All right, so this is where we at. We still going. So he answered one of the things almost kind of close, and the angel now he's beginning to explain some things for him. So this is where we're picking up. Okay. Nevertheless, I'm gonna just start it over. Nevertheless, as coming the tokens, I don't know what that means. As coming the tokens, behold, the days shall come that they which dwell upon the earth shall be taken in great number, and the way of truth shall be hidden, and the land shall be barren of belief. But iniquity shall be increased above that which you now see, or that you heard long ago. And the land that you see now to have root, you shall see wasted suddenly. But if El Elyon grant you to live, you shall see after the third shofar that the sun shall suddenly shine again in the night, and the moon thrice in the day. And blood shall drop out of wood, and the stone shall give his voice, and the people shall be troubled, and even he shall rule, whom they look not for that dwell upon the earth. And the fowls shall take their flight away together, and the Kadmosh sea shall cast out fish, and make a noise in the night, which many have not known, but they shall all hear the voice thereof. There shall be a confusion in also many places. There shall be a confusion also in many places, and the fire shall be oft sent out again, and the wild beasts shall change their places, and menstruous women shall bring forth monsters. We kind of see this kind of true today, right? I mean, not calling people kids monsters, but if you look at the way different people are born, and they're born with deformities, and some people giving birth to two-headed babies. That's horrible to say, but I think that falls in a line of menstruous women, they're monsters. I could be wrong. It could be a total another thing that's gonna happen. I don't know. It could be an analogy to something. Maybe this is being translated the wrong way. I don't know. But if we want to go along these lines, I can kind of see that. But don't quote me that I'm 100% right on that. There shall be a confusion also in many places, and the fire shall be oft sent out again, and the wild beasts shall change their places, and menstruous women shall bring forth monsters, and salt waters shall be found in the sweet, and all the friends shall destroy one another. Then shall wit hide itself, and understanding withdraw itself into his secret chamber, and shall be sought of many, and yet not be found. Then shall unrighteousness and incontinency be multiplied upon the earth. One land also shall ask another and say, is righteousness that makes a man righteous gone through you? And it shall say, no. At the same time, men shall hope, but nothing obtain. They shall labor, but their ways shall not prosper. To show you such tokens I have leave. And if you will pray again and weep as now and fast even days, you shall hear yet greater things. Then I awoke, and an extreme fearfulness went through all my body, and my mind was troubled, so that it fainted. So the angel that was come to talk with me held me, comforted me, and set me up upon my feet. And in the second night it came to pass that Shealtiel, the captain of the people, came unto me, saying, where have you been? And why is your countenance so heavy? Know you not that Yasharal is committed unto you in the land of their captivity? Up then, and eat bread, and forsake us not, as the shepherd that leaves his flock in the hands of cruel wolves. Right? So Ezra was the leader, the scribe, although Nehemiah led him back. It said Ezra is the leader because he's a priest. He's also a scribe. And he's the one at this point, and not the only one, but he along with other priests and prophets are hearing you who will speak and talk, right? So remember, it was at this point, like he done separated himself from everybody after they got back to the land, and he was just sitting astonished that y'all are doing the same crap that got our ancestors kicked out, and y'all doing this again. We ain't got the wall rebuilt real good, and y'all are doing these same things that Yahuwah has told us not to do, right? So it said he separated himself. He sat astonished for a whole day, like in utter disbelief of what his people was doing, right? Like they had not just come out of captivity. Up then, hold on. Know you not that Yasharal is committed unto you in the land of their captivity? Up then, and eat bread, and forsake us not, as the shepherd that leaves his flock in the hands of cruel wolves. Then said I unto him, Go your ways from me, and come not nigh me. And he heard what I said, and went from me. And so I fasted 7 days, mourning and weeping, like as Uriel the angel commanded me. And after 7 days, so it was that the thoughts of my heart were very grievous unto me again, and my soul recovered the Ruach bin Yah, or the spirit of understanding. And I began to talk with El Elyon again. And he said, and said, O Yahuwah, remember El Elyon is another name for Yahuwah. And said, O Yahuwah Adonai, of every wood of the earth, and of all the trees thereof, you have chosen only one vine, and of all the lands of the whole world, you have chosen one pit, and of all the flowers thereof, one lily, and of all the depths of the sea, you have filled one river. And all the built cities, you have hollowed Zion unto yourself. And of all the fowls that you are created, you have named one dove. And of all the cattle that are made, you have provided one sheep. And among all the multitudes of people, you have gotten one people. And unto this people whom you love, you gave one Torah that is approved of all. Yes. I'm going to keep reading. And now, O Yahuwah, why have you given this one people over to many? And upon the one root have you prepared others? And why have you scattered your only one people among many? And they did which gainsay your promises, and believe not your covenants, have trodden them down. If you did so much hate your people, yet should you punish them with your own hands? Now, when I had spoken these words, the angel that came to me the night afore was sent unto me, and said unto me, Hear me, and I will instruct you. Hearken to the thing that I say, and I shall tell you more. And I said, Speak on, my Adonai, or speak on, my Lord, my liege. Go ahead, man. Tell me what you got to say. What's up? And I said, Speak on, my Adonai. Then he said unto me, You are sore troubled in mind for Yasharal's sake. Love you that people better than he that made them? And I said, No, Adonai, but of very grief have I spoken, for my mind pains me every hour, while I labor to comprehend the way of El Elyon, and seek out part of his judgment. And he said unto me, You cannot. And I said, Wherefore, Adonai? Whereunto was I born then? And why was not my mother's womb then my grave, that I might not have seen the travail of Yaakov or Jacob, and the wearisome toil of the stock of Israel? We also hear this thing being said by Job as well, that his mother's womb should have been his grave, right? Okay. And he said unto me, Number the things that are not yet come. Gather me together the dross that are scattered abroad. Make me the flowers green again that are withered. Open me the places that are closed, and bring me forth the winds that in them are shut up. Show me the image of a voice. And then I will declare to you the things that you labor to know. Here you go again. So now we're back to the way fire thing, which you just asked me to do something else that's impossible. Listen, hold on, look. He answering his question with a question. He said, okay. I answer your question if you can answer this. I'm going to go back and read it again. And he said unto me, he just asked this whole thing. Ezra just finished saying again, he's still trying to understand why it seems like the one people that Yahuwah has chosen has been forsaken by him. Everybody else is prospering, right? Even us, we have that question sometimes. Why it seems like the wicked, they get away with more stuff than what the righteous get away with, right? Not that we're seeking to get away with something, but sometimes it's like we can't catch a break. Sometimes it seems that way, right? But okay. And he said unto me, number me the things that are not yet come. Gather me together the dross that are scattered abroad. Make me the flowers green again that are withered. Open me the places that are closed, and bring me forth the winds that in them are shut up. Show me the image of a voice, and then I will declare to you the thing that you labor to know. And I said, O Yahuwah Adonai, who may know these things? But he that has not his dwelling with men. As for me, I am unwise. This is Ezra. Ezra said, I am unwise. As for me, I am unwise. How may I then speak of these things whereof you ask me? Then said he unto me, like as you can do none of these things that I have spoken of, even so you cannot find out my judgment, or in the end the love that I have promised unto my people. And I said, behold, Yahuwah, yet you are nigh unto them that be reserved till the end. And what shall they do that have been before me, or we that be now, or that they that shall come after us? And he said unto me, I will liken my judgment unto a ring. Like as there is no slackness of the last, even so there is no swiftness of the first. So I answered and said, could you not make those that have been made and be now and that are for to come at once? Okay. So he said, like it unto a ring, right? It's one complete circle. Like there is no end, and there is like you, right? You can't see where it begins and where it ends, right? There's no beginning and there is no end. It just is. If that makes sense, right? Listen. And he said unto me, I will liken my judgment unto a ring, like as there is no slackness of the last. Like you can't see the points, no slackness of the last. You know, this is a real good, whatever you call them, the gold makers, goldsmiths, right? And you can't see where it began and end. It's all one complete piece, right? And he said unto me, I will liken my judgment unto a ring, like as there is no slackness of the last, even so there is no swiftness of the first. So I answered and said, could you not make those that have been made and be now, and that are for to come at once, that you might show your judgment sooner? So he said, okay, pretty much out of all the people in the world, all those that you know that have passed already, those that are present today, and those that are coming to the future, couldn't you have created them all at one time? That way your judgment could happen sooner. It's like, why do we have this process of time that we have to go through where people come, they live, and then they go back to the grave and just more generations come? Why not, when you created the world, why not do it all at once? Why did you insert time into this space? And it happens like this, right? Listen to this. Look. Could you not make those that have been made and be now and that are for to come at once, that you might show your judgment the sooner? Then he answered me and said, the creature may not haste above the maker, neither may the world hold them at once that shall be created therein. And I said, as you have said unto your servant, that you, which give life to all and have given life at once to the creature that you have created, and the creature bore it, even so it might now also bear them that now be present at once. And he said unto me, and here he go, he apparently Ezra is not getting it, right? So now he's about to give him an example of why everybody couldn't be born at the same time, right? He's just going to use something natural that he understands. And he said unto me, ask the womb of a woman, and say unto her, if you bring forth children, why do you it not together, but one after another? Pray her therefore to bring forth 10 children at once. And I said, she cannot, she must do it by the distance of time. Then said he unto me, even so have I given the womb of the earth to those that be sown in it in their times. Like all of us that are born here in this womb, in this earth, on this plane, Yahuwah considers it a womb, right? He said, just like, look, hold on. Okay, so remember the thing that I said I heard earlier along with the word subia that I heard? Okay, I think I'm understanding this on the right, my train of thinking. I'm thinking now, based on what I'm about to read here. I just remembered this. Shucks, because it's been a year since I read through the apocryphal portion of Ezra, right? Listen. Then said he unto me, even so have I given the womb of the earth to those that be sown in it in their times. Okay, so the other thing that I heard this morning, and it may make sense, it may not make sense to you. I also heard I created the worlds when I created the world. Now, I know some people, wait, what is more than one word? Look, pay attention to what I'm saying. Okay. So when you do a little bit of research and scientific things, right? And I was chatting with my sister about this yesterday. Sometimes you'll hear people say that humans are a smaller microcosm of this bigger world that we live in. Like everything that we've seen created in the world as a whole, man, every single person is also a direct reflection of all of those things, right? And what's crazy, why I'm saying this, I remember what we read. It explained that a little bit in Legends of the Jews at the very beginning of the book when it was talking about different things in creation. That's crazy. I'm gonna have to go back and pull it up today. But yeah, that was the first thing I heard. The Bantu language name I actually heard after that. But now that I'm reading this and just thinking about it and the different things coming to me, my train of thought, what I thought it meant, I think I'm on the right track, right? So when he created the world, he created the worlds. No, yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah, when he created the world. Yeah, that's how I'm thinking about what I wrote down in my dream folder. When he created the world, he created the worlds, right? The worlds meaning us, the people, right? With the world and put us inside of the world. You ever seen, I don't know what this is called, but I'm sure you guys seen it on computers, right? So when you open up a screen, like even if you see like this, but sometimes it's like a picture within 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 a picture. And it seems like a long hallway of the same picture, but the bigger picture gets smaller and smaller. It's almost like I don't know what you call that, but it's that same picture and it's just reproduced. And the computer sometimes does it. I don't know what that's called, but it's sort of like that. The all of the worlds of the people within the world, it's like the exact replica of the world that was made. I hope that makes sense. It makes sense in my head. I don't know if I explained that the right way to y'all. Where it makes sense to y'all. Okay. Well, let me just keep on going. Hold on. Let me just go back up a little bit. Look. And he said unto me, ask the womb of a woman and say unto her, if you bring forth children, why do you it not together, but one after another? Pray her therefore to bring forth 10 children at once. And I said, she cannot, but she must do it by the distance of time. Then he said unto me, even so have I given the womb of the earth to those that be sown in it in their times. For like as a young child may not bring forth the things that belong to the aged, even so have I disposed the world which I have created. Yo, this is good. And I asked and said, seeing you have now given me the way, I will proceed to speak before you and our mother, of whom you have told me that she is young, draws now unto age. And he answered me and said, okay, so look, and if you ever hear, I don't speak this way, but when I hear people speak this way, I don't argue with them because I understand what they're trying to convey, but sometimes they use words that still kind of throw people off. And people's like, I don't know what they're talking about. Like, let me just explain this without giving names. Okay, listen. And I asked and said, seeing you have now given me the way, I will proceed to speak before you for our mother, of whom you have told me that she is young, draws now nigh unto age. When he's talking about his mother or our mother or whatever, he's literally talking about the earth, right? Remember, we're children of the earth, of the dirt. We were created from the dirt of this world, right? So we're kind of created in two parts, from the dirt of the earth and the spirit of Yah combined together, right? So some people, when they say our mother, some people even say Mother Earth, but you got to be careful with that too. That's why I don't use those terms, because it can be convoluted depending on who you're talking to and their level of understanding. So I try to stay away from terms like that especially if I don't know where you are and how much you understand. I won't use those terms, just for the simple fact, if you're not as far as I think you are, I don't want to continue speaking to you in a way that you're perceiving you already have the wrong understanding on. So I like to keep it clear, no blurred lines. This is this, right? So you will never hear me saying Mother Earth. Yeah, it's all about what you worship. Thank you, Uncle Nathaniel. Pixel resolution, that picture within a picture within a picture within a picture. That's what it's called. Thank you. So I'll stay away from terms that blurs the line for a lot of people, at least for a lot of the masses of people, right? That are kind of at, I'm not saying that y'all on lower levels or we're on lower levels, but y'all get what I'm saying. Some people that may not have done as much research or don't really understand why we don't want to use the word God anymore, because some people know it to be that's a different God, depending on what group of people you're talking to. So that's why we're trying to get rid of all of generalized terms, and let's call Yahuwah by his name, like he has said. And he has been jealous. If y'all haven't noticed, as we talked about before, he is jealous and has been jealous over his very own name from the very beginning. Matter of fact, if you go research the term name, it's going to blow your mind how many times it comes up. And that's just when it's referring to people, but how many times you see Yahuwah talking about his own name, right? He said, whatever you do for me and my people, do it in my name alone, my name. When we do the Shema, when you bless my people, bless them, put my name upon them, nobody else's name. Don't you add nobody to me, right? And when we see that, it's just another whole level of mind blownness, right? Especially if you come out to church. It like shakes you to the core, down to your shana. Like, what have I been believing all this time? How can I have been so blind? And a lot of times, a lot of people don't want to put it away because they know that Yah speaks to them. But it's like, okay, all this time he been speaking to me, but we've been doing it this way. How come he never said anything? When Yahuwah begins to open our eyes, when we actually begin to pull on those little strings and those little the breadcrumbs he been dropping out to us all our lives, we can see just how long he has been trying to wake us up. And for many of us, it's been years. Like, as I began to understand this and actually look into it, I'm like, boom, boom, wait a minute. I remember back when, wait a minute. I remember, wait a minute. How long have you been trying to wake me up? Guys, and when it hit me like that, I was like, Father, forgive me. Oh my gosh. Clearly that time I ignored you. I heard you speak to me. That was like 10 years ago. Oh my gosh. You said that. I'm just now getting that. Wait, what? And so it's like that is we go through this whole thing, like, because a lot of time we kind of take it personal. Like, let me make sure I explain this the right way. We kind of take it personal, like, especially if somebody's trying to show you something, we kind of take it as an affront or an offense, like somebody trying to tell us, you'll know what you think you know. You think you wise, but you really know nothing. Like, we look at it like that's like, I ain't stupid because Yah speaks to me. I clearly had dreams. I clearly hear him speak to me audibly ever since I've been a little girl. Like, stuff like that, because I had the attitude, y'all. Like, I know, don't come and try and tell me that. How can you tell me I'm in the wrong way? I know what I've been doing, because this don't make sense right here, what you're saying, because if we touch this and unravel this, we need to touch this and unravel this. And then we need to touch this and unravel this. And when I got to that point, it was like, oh, we need to touch this and unravel this. We need to touch that too. We need to touch that too. Just how long have you been speaking to me? Has all of this, and you realize all of it has been a farce. And Yahuwah has to wake us up, and all of that stuff, when you begin to pull on that string, or you go further down into that rabbit hole, red pill or the blue pill, you choose. Life or death, you choose. You take the blue pill, you'll wake up, you'll go on, life is normal, you'll never even remember this conversation. But if you take the red pill, you'll stay in Wonderland, and I'll show you just how deep the rabbit hole goes. Bruh, you know how long I've been inside this rabbit hole? Every day I'm finding out something new. It is blowing my friggin' mind. I'm just like, oh, have I been stupid all these years? Apparently have, because you've been trying to get my attention ever since I woke up in this world. Right? It's like from the time we open our eyes, Yahuwah has been trying to open our eyes of what we've been born into. Guys, and those of y'all that's waking up, y'all know like I know. And sometimes it's a struggle because we got to get over that whole personal pride issue. Like, I know I hear from y'all. And don't you tell me, you know how much wisdom I've given to people that I've heard from y'all or from the Holy Spirit that they have applied and it's come to pass and it worked. They're doing well. So how can you tell me that, when we get over ourselves and just calm down? Yo, Tiffany said, now I gotta go watch The Matrix again. Yo, it's so much truth in a lot of these movies that it blow your mind. And look, I was waiting for Mish to come back. I don't know if she's here, but girl, I went and watched Behind Her Eyes yesterday. Sheesh. Yo, we just about everything. I had never heard of that movie till y'all mentioned it. My sister's like, girl, I was trying to tell you about this movie last week. I told you to go watch it. That's why when Misha said it yesterday, I didn't recognize what she said. She said behind her eyes. And I'm like, and I asked, I said, what do you mean by that? Because you must have said that earlier when I said something. You was clearly responding to something I said, but it didn't register to me because I didn't even know that was a movie. Then my sister on Facebook said Behind Her Eyes. It's a movie. Go watch it. Right. But it's actually like it's a series on Netflix, and it's 6 episodes. I don't really think it's going to be any more after that because I think the point that it was trying to bring across was done in that 6 episodes. Blow your mind. It hit on everything that we was talking about yesterday, and a lot of things. I ain't gonna get into it. Just go watch. Let's go watch the video from yesterday. You'll see. All right. But yeah, this right here, I didn't get off, but I was telling you about how I don't use some terms that I hear some people use that get some people still twisted up when they hear people talking about the mother. If they don't take the time and explain that to people, and they just kind of keep using that term, people they get sidetracked, and then it's like, yeah, because I don't know if you're telling us you're worshiping an earthly mother. Is this another deity or what? No, it's simply when you hear me say it. When you hear me say it like this, I'll bring it out. Right. When you hear me say our mother, because it also calls Jerusalem our mother. For the children of Zion, Jerusalem is our mother, right? But on just a basic, solid foundation level, the earth is our mother. We were created from her, right? And we are here on this plane inside of her on this earth, right? So we're created from the earth, our mother, and our father. Let me not even go there because people are like, wait, so you saying, okay. But y'all get the analogy, what I'm trying to say. We're created from the earth, the dirt of the earth, and the spirit of Yah breathe into our nostrils. I'm going to leave that right there because I don't want to screw that up. And so I asked and said, seeing you have now given me the way, I will proceed to speak before you for our mother, of whom you have told me that she is young, draws now unto age, right? So when the earth was first created, she was considered young, but as she gets older and different children are born into the earth and it passes through time, she matures and gets older. So that's what Ezra is saying, okay? I will proceed to speak before you for our mother, of whom you have told me that she is young, draws now nigh unto age. He answered me and said, ask a woman that bears children, and she shall tell you. Say unto her, wherefore are unto they whom you have now brought forth like those that were before, but less of stature? And she shall answer you, they that be born in the strength of youth are one fashion, and they that are born in the time of age, when the womb fails, are otherwise. So it's saying when you're younger and you bear children, when you're young, they come out stronger and they're more vigorous. And not that we're any less, but if you think about it, if you go back and look at it from the time of creation, they were even bigger. I like something my uncle said one time. We was actually reading through this and talking about this a few years ago. He said, we're like considered the pygmies of the world, like literally based on the previous generations of people going all the way back, because they were taller, they were stronger, they lived longer, right? So it's like we're the weaker ones, born in the age of our mother, in her old age, right? So that's us. Consider, and everything that Yahuwah does, he has created it in the world, like we can see it. That's why there's always nature examples that Yahuwah would give about different things, and he'll show you animals, different, everything that he's created. All of the spiritual principles can be related to something that he's already put here in our realm, but a lot of times we can't perceive it. That's why we live like in a story world. We see in pictures. That's the best way we can comprehend spiritual things. We have to liken it to something, because if the principle was just told to us, it's like, what you just say? Are you even speaking my language? What language are you speaking? Say that again, but say it in a language that I understand. Say that again, right? So we have to see movies. That's why I use movies a lot when we're talking about this, and I give different movies as a point of reference, right? Okay, listen. Say unto her, wherefore they whom you have now brought forth. Hold on. Say unto her, wherefore are unto they whom you have now brought forth like those that were before, but less of stature? And she shall answer you, they that be born in the strength of youth are one fashion, and they that are born in the time of age, when the womb fails, are otherwise. Consider therefore also how that ye are less of stature than those that were before you, and so are they that come after you less than ye, as creatures which now began to be old and have passed over the strength of youth. Then said I, Adonai, I beseech you, excuse me, if I have found favor in your sight, show your servant by whom you visit your creature. Excuse me, where we at? God, mercy, I need to quit cutting in so much. It's only the second chapter. We already at 42 minutes. Okay. 4th Ezra, chapter 6. And he said unto me, in the beginning, when the earth was made, before the borders of the world stood, or ever the winds blew, before it thundered and lightened, or ever the foundations of paradise were laid, before the fair flowers were seen, or ever the movable powers were established, before the innumerable multitude of angels were gathered together, or ever the heights of the air were lifted up, before the measures of the expanse were named, or ever the chimneys in Zion were hot, and ere the present years were sought out, and or ever the inventions of them that now sin were turned, before they were sealed that have gathered belief for a treasure. Then did I consider these things, and they all were made through me alone. You said there was nobody with me in the beginning. It was only me. And we'll find traces of these things throughout the things that they have hidden or have not canonized, but they're readily available to us. Because if all of these things was always readily available to us, we would keep seeing Yahuwah said, I am one. There is only me. The gods that the other nations worship, there are no gods at all. They're gods of wood and stone. They're deaf, dumb, and blind. Call out to them for help. Let's see how you fare with that. Let me know how that go, right? Okay. I'm watching. Let me know how that go, right? And all the time we calling out in different names and stuff, but he also said, but everything that you do get, know that it comes from me and me alone, right? Me and me alone. Don't get it credit to nobody else. Don't add nobody name to my name. I don't care what language you speak, what dialect or whatever. It's only me. Look. Then did I consider these things, and they all were made through me alone, and through none other. By me also they shall be ended, and by none other. Right? Woo! Yahuwah said, I create good and I create evil. Everything that people want to throw on the devil, a lot of times, I don't know about that. Yahuwah said, I create good and I create evil. It's only him. He's orchestrating everything. Then did I consider these things. He said, before all this stuff was created, before I put anything into motion, I considered all these things, right? Before I said, it's a go, get her done, I considered all these things, right? Then did I consider these things, and they were all made through me alone, and through none other. By me also they shall be ended, and by none other. Then answered I and said, what shall be the parting asunder of the times? Or when shall the end of the first? Or when shall be the end of the first and the beginning of it that follows? And he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau, for Esau is the end of the world, and Yaakov or Jacob is the beginning that follows. And a lot of time when you wake up, people go right to this. They'll pull out their Apocrypha. Listen, yo, we rule next. Like we next, right? So you hear the end of the world. A lot of times it's the end of the world as we know it. That's what they should have said. It's the end of the world as we know it. But there is a new rule rolling right into place. It said, just like, read that again. From the time of Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau, for Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that follows. Or those of us who are about to break through, those of us that are waking up, the new rulers, the ones who's going to literally take over the world and rule now, because they've had it all this time. And we see what a banged up job they done, right? And as we're waking up to all of this, oh, y'all did what now? Y'all destroyed this place. Y'all completely destroyed everything and annihilated all types of people. We about to clean this up. I'm going to show you how to do it. You about to help replenish these oceans, clean up my beaches. Guys, I was completely disgusted when I found out, as I began to research into Africa a little bit more. I was completely disgusted and disturbed to find out that America, along with some other countries, when they send some of the secondhand clothing or some of the clothing that at least the manufacturers that are still here, when they have the surplus or different things, or like you got a shirt that's one sleeve, you got Gordon Gartrell shirts, right? One sleeve that's longer than the other. All this excess clothing and different things and clothing and stuff that they can probably just dispose of and burn, repurpose or something. They ship all this stuff to Africa, right? They ship it to Africa. You would think there would be some kind of, and not all places, but there are some places where they actually take these clothes by the shipload and they just dump them. They dump them close to the shore. And it really grieved, it bothered me. So some of the people from Africa, they're actually standing along the beach, picking through these clothes. So whenever you see these videos of some people, and they show the worst videos with people from Africa. And I used to think Africa was like, oh, well, it's a good thing who was taken from over there. Africa has some of the most beautifulest places that you ever want to see, right? So when you see some of these videos or some of these news clippings where they use people and they got on these old Jabot shirts and these old damaged clothes that I'm like, wait, where do you get that from? Is that even still being made? Like they're wearing stuff that's gone out of style for America ages ago, right? They get this stuff from, I call it the dump, right? And they just dump it. They're destroying the beaches. And it's like, you have people there, because there are a couple of videos from people from America who have relocated back to Africa, and they showed you some of the places. They literally like just come and dump it. Like, say something to us. Who's gonna say something to us? We America. What? What you gonna say? Take this. We out of here. Figure out, do something with it, but we can't keep it over in our lands, guys. I still get heated and sweating under my arms about that. Like, cause, like I said before, we are the ones who have been brought up in propaganda about all the other world, all the other places around the world, right? And we're made to think that these places are bad. Don't go there. Don't go there. We need to annihilate them because they're doing this, and we need to save the people over there. America is the biggest bully on the block, right? Okay, let me go and read this. For Esau is the end of the world, and Yaakov, or Jacob, is the beginning of it that follows. Thus, as we're waking up, and it's over the process of time, we're going to change it back over to what it needs to be. Yeah, Hezekiah said, well, I never considered that. I thought they were shipping excess inventory over there and the people would just wear it for a long time. No, go look that up again. You will see it's quite a few videos on it, especially on YouTube, right? And some of the people over there, they've even wrote that they're trying to change it in legislation where it can't be done. They're even talking to some of the African, the leaders of the different places, like, don't allow this, like, stand up to them, tell them, no, they cannot bring their wares over here and just dump them in our beautiful oceans. But it's like, where are the balls of some of the leaders? I'm not talking, but I'm saying some of them are scared to stand up to the European leaders in France, and some of them do it too, some of the other countries, but I think they all do it. They all doing it. It's a disgusting thing. I'm like, if these people don't stand up and do something, they just bending over, let it happen. Like, what? For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that follows. The hand of man is betwixt the heel and the hand. Other question, Ezra, asked you not. I answered then and said, O YAHUAH Adonai, if I have found favor in your sight, I beseech you, show your servant the end of your tokens, whereof you showed me part the last night. So he answered and said unto me, stand up upon your feet and hear a mighty sounding voice, and it shall be as it were a great motion, but the place where you stand, but the place where you stand shall not be moved. And therefore, when it speaks, be not afraid, for the word is of the end, and the foundation of the earth is understood. And why? Because the speech of these things trembles and is moved, for it knows that the end of these things must be changed. And it happened that when I had heard it, I stood up upon my feet and hearkened. And behold, there was a voice that spoke, and the sound of it was like the sound of many waters. And it said, behold, the days come that I will begin to draw nigh and to visit them that dwell upon the earth. And I will begin to make inquisition of them, what they be that have hurt unjustly with their unrighteousness. And when the affliction of Zion shall be fulfilled, and when the world that shall begin to vanish away shall be finished, then will I show these tokens. The Sephirim shall be opened before the expanse, or the scrolls shall be opened before the expanse. Like, we'll see, they've added some of this in Revelation, and the books were open, right? And when the world that shall begin to vanish away shall be finished, then I will show these tokens, or then I'll begin to unravel and show you some of these things that I'm now speaking to you about, but not until that time. The Sephirim, or the scrolls, shall be opened before the expanse, and they shall see all together. And the children of a year old shall speak with their voices, and the women with child shall bring forth untimely children of 3 or 4 months old, and they shall live and be raised up. And suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown. The full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty, and the shofar shall give a sound, which when every man hears, they shall be suddenly afraid. At that time shall friends fight against one another like enemies, and the earth shall stand in fear with those that dwell therein. The springs of the fountains shall stand still, and in 3 hours they shall not run. Whosoever remains from all these that I have told you shall escape and see my salvation. But right here it says, see my Yeshua, right? It's not capital letters. It's just putting in a Hebrew term for the word. I showed you when you begin to read through the scriptures, y'all. When you begin to read through the scriptures, you'll see the pattern of what's happening, but you have to read it enough to catch it, right? And I did, like I remember I told you, just for like a whole year, I put away the New Testament just because that's what Yahuwah said to me, right? He said, just read the prophets, right? And I know the prophets, to what the prophets to be. So I stuck in the Old Testament reading it from Genesis to Malachi, Genesis to Malachi, Genesis to Malachi. The third time around, I'm like, wait, what? Hold on. Let me go back. Things began to start clicking together. And I'm like, wait, what? Wait, let me look this up. And it started registering how much Yahuwah was saying not to do some of these things that I had been brought up and taught in the church to do. This like a normal thing. Like this begins to register. Like you have to, you know how I always say, I said, when you go to study the scriptures, and I see a lot of our people that's waking up, this is what they do. When they start trying to make sense, and I know because I did it, when they start to try to make sense of what they're hearing and what they're coming across, and it's now causing them to question themselves, like, wait a minute, I see contradictions. I heard them talk. Now I'm seeing the contradictions. Okay, now I know this is the whole complete infallible word of the Most High. There are no contradictions. Like you talking to yourself, there are no contradictions. There are no contradictions. Like you're trying to hype yourself up for what you might be about to uncover. You know it's something because it won't let you go. You gotta go look. You have to solve this lingering question that keeps festering. Like you gotta see this thing through, right? What people start to do as they begin to research, they'll start just pulling scriptures out and start searching different words and stuff and kind of going through. And it's like, okay, this, because that's how I started. I said, let me start doing this. I'm gonna run all the scriptures and I'm gonna start looking at all the scriptures. And when I began to do that, I was looking up certain things. You have to be careful. Like if you're trying to look up a certain thing, if you want to find it in the Old Testament, you have to look it up by a different word by which you would look up the words in the New Testament that say the same thing, but it means something different, or it changes its meaning over time, right? So what I began to notice was there was a complete disconnect from the Old Testament and the New Testament, right? I'm like, wait a minute. You can get some old concordances, right? And there are certain things that are found that you will only find in the Old Testament that you will not find in the New Testament. I began to, I'm like, well, darn it. Why? Hold on. Wait, I'm only seeing this. I see it all through here, but I only see this here. And this word that I find here, I may only see it a couple times here. I wonder why. So I began to really pull all this stuff apart. And I think everybody, at least from my understanding, when I talk to different people, they begin to go through these different things. That's why I started keeping track of different questions, because everybody is asking the same question. At least those who come out of Christianity, they've transitioned into like the Hebrew roots. It's like they're waking up in levels, right? Can't do it all at once. Like a child is not born an adult. Like you have to grow in levels, right? And it's the same thing when you're coming out of the beast system. Come out of her, my people. You want to go down the rabbit hole? I'm gonna show you how deep it's gonna get. Welcome to Wonderland. And I'm like, what? Every day is blowing my mind. So some things, as I began to grow, I'm like, wait a minute. So that's why you hear me start to say now, as I understand as of today, right? Because I understand that I'm constantly evolving. I'm constantly see things change. And they're like, I'm seeing it in different lights as I keep going and I get more information, right? Because when you only have a piece of the puzzle, like that's the only information you can hold until you get more pieces of the puzzle. Then you realize, oh, wait a minute, I didn't even know that this was. Oh, so then this can't mean, if this is truly a piece of this puzzle, this cannot mean this. Like you have to make it fit, and it fits together perfectly. And so as you get more information, you can kind of begin to see the bigger picture, and it begins to take shape, and you can kind of see, and it's like, oh, I was completely off. Like, it just literally just think about a baby, how they grow and their understanding from the time of an infant and how they progress. It's the same way. It's like we're babes coming out of the womb. Oh, look, go watch the Matrix. Look, you know how, oh, that's so good. Look, I just thought about this. We look, just using the Matrix, my G. Look, when they're waking up, look, when they unplug, when Neo unplugged himself from the Matrix, he was getting signals and signs. It's like they were asleep all this time, right? And if you go back and they're in these little embryo egg janks, these shells, and in this liquid and stuff. And when he finally decided, yeah, I'm getting out of here, he found himself looking around. You got all these pods of sleeping embryos. What? And he popped this jank off, and he had completely disconnected himself from Matrix. Yo, this is what we are truly living in. Like that movie, The Matrix, has never. You get a whole nother revelation when you realize you have unsnapped that jank from the back of your head. Like there is no turning back at this point. We got to see this thing through. And it's like, I'm like, yeah, let them come around my way. I'm going to pour. Look, I ain't connected to the Matrix no more. I'm still growing, but we can walk this walk together. Like, yo, it is so exciting and kind of scary a little bit at the same time, because it's like, man, we navigate this thing. And just think about babies as they're beginning to go. You know, they beginning to walk, they crawling. Ooh, I think I can do this. I'm gonna walk from the table to daddy. Come here, baby. Come on. You got it. Come on. Well, I got it. Oh, then you fail. You take 2 steps, then you fall. Get up. You can do it. You can do it. Just put your back. Come on, let's go. You can do it. And everybody's cheering you on. That's like it is, y'all. We're waking up. It's like, come on. You can do it. You got it. Come on. It's people in my family that I know that I can see this process happening to. I get so freaking excited. I'm like, yes. Oh my gosh. As soon as they snap that jank off the back of their head, let's go. But I be quiet because some of them kind of standing off from me a little bit, because they know something ain't right, but they kind of listen to me a little bit. They ain't said, but I can see it, I can sense it, I can see into the Matrix a little bit and see what's going on with you, right? It's crazy, y'all. It's like, let me finish reading this. We're an hour. We ain't done with the second chapter. I'm sorry with my stories, y'all. I get so excited. Okay, listen. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning that follows. Hold on. No, I went all the way back up. I'm sorry. We were down here. Okay, hold on. Oh, we were over here. Okay, right. Yeah, I was right here. Okay. Whosoever remains from all these that I have told you shall escape and see my Yeshua, or shall see my salvation. And salvation. Oh, that's good. You gotta, when you also look that up, you have to, it's like a play on words, really, for real. But you will see my deliverance on how I deliver you. Some words I think just need to be completely put away, because in the church, when we hear like the word salvation, it's crazy how it triggers us, even as we're in the Hebrew, coming through the Hebrew root space, and how that just, it's like a trigger word. Like you have to get rid of those trigger words and restore the original term of what Yahuwah was saying. Like, I am the one who delivers and unsnaps you from the Matrix, right? I am He. I am all that I am. It's like, sometimes I think about this. I think like I look at it sometimes, I like, we are literally truly in a Matrix, right? It's like Yahuwah has created this product, or He has children. Sometimes I think this is and just like the scripture in Jeremiah said, those that love you can't even, and I'm kind of summing it up, you can't even begin to comprehend the things that I have in store for those that love me and that I love. Like my people, y'all can't even begin to comprehend, but it's almost like the earth is like the boot camp of what is to come, right? It's like you got to prove yourself here. Here is the womb. Anybody that breaks out the womb, we waiting on you. Just like when a woman conceives, right? The man comes in, he ejaculates, and all this sperm is off to the races. Let's find that egg and fertilize it. The one who breaks through is the one who breaks through, right? And we are products of all the ones who have broken through that level of the Matrix, right? The firstborn breaks the matrix. Hey, look, guys, this is that pixelated picture within the 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 picture, right? So oh my gosh, look, there's so many things that's coming to my mind right now. So the first part of the matrix we break through is through our mom's womb. We break through that, right? And then we're here, and now we're in like the incubation stage again. It's another level of incubation, right? Because Yahuwah, he needs it's like the best of the best of the best make it out. Like, so now all of us here around the earth with all the different things, the different languages and everything, it's another level of the races are trying to break through. And now we know that there's another level. Clearly we know, oh shoot, it's an unseen realm going on. Like there's like, we've interacted with the unseen realm, kind of like the message from yesterday with the astral projection. I was like, guys, this thing has been happening since we like been born. Children do it now. They call it astral projecting. Church will call it seeing into the spirit, or going out of body experiences, just depending on where you're from. They name it different things. It's another level of the matrix whereby we need to get to. We need to break out of here, right? And the best of the best of the best of the best of the best break through that matrix, right? But with this matrix we're in, there's a few levels of waking up, right? There's an awareness first of what the crap? Where are we at? Like, and you the only one woke. Maybe you seen somebody like way off into the horizon, somebody else a little light that's they done popped open. They over there like, and we at this point, right? So a lot of people that's coming to the video, they like, everybody's having this awakening moment. Like, what is this? What is this place? What is this place called Earth that we're really in? Y'all get what I'm saying, right? But seriously, y'all, it's like that for real. That may go over some people's heads, but it's like that. You have no idea what Yahuwah has in store for those who break through another level of the matrix. Oh, yo, let me finish reading this. I'll be talking about this all day. Look. Whosoever remains from all these that I have told you shall escape and see my salvation and the end of your world. And the men that are received, shall see it, who have not tasted death from their birth. And the heart of the inhabitants shall be changed and turned into another meaning. For evil shall be put out, and deceit shall be quenched. As for belief, it shall flourish. Corruption shall overcome, and the truth, which has been so long without fruit, shall be declared. And when he talked with me, behold, I looked by little and little upon him before whom I stood. And these words said he unto me, I am come to show you the time of the night to come. If you will pray yet more and fast 7 days again, I shall tell you greater things by day than I have heard. For your voice is heard before El Elyon, and El has seen your righteous dealing. He has seen also your chastity, which you have had ever since your youth. And therefore has he sent me to show you all these things and say unto you, be of good comfort and fear not. Let me tell you something. When I realized how powerful being chaste was, although I didn't really have the full understanding of it when I was younger, I did a little, I wasn't out in the streets, but you know what I'm saying? Let's just say this, I should have been stoned because I played the part of the whore in my parents' house, right? But as I grew and got older, became chaste, settled down, got married, stuck to my chasteness. You can still be unchaste in marriage too, but I've been chaste in marriage, but I began to realize chasteness goes a long way with understanding truth, right? I would go as far to say as being, I would say that. Being chaste, like, okay, let me make sure I say this not the wrong way. I don't want to say this the wrong way, but even those who are walking the path, those who fully give themselves to truth, and keep themselves chaste, it's like an outward showing of you not allowing yourself to be tarnished and to be fondled by other things that could come in and take you off and lead you off in the path. And now you you pregnant with different doctrines or pregnant with different people's babies. You see what I'm saying? I look at it that way. So when you keep yourself chaste, it's like you're it's like you're it's like your okay, so it's like your level of understanding is increased because I guess you would get a little bit more from your studies, or it seemed like a little more wisdom is given to you, whatever. And that may or may not be true. Because I think about King Solomon and all the hoes he had, but the part that they took out was when he did those things that Yahuwah told him not to do, he was bereft immediately of all his wisdom. And then he was kicked out of his own kingdom, and they took that part out. And he lived the life of a poor beggarly man for about 3 years, right? People don't see that. They just, oh, King Solomon had a lot of hoes. Why can't I can take care of them? So why not? Y'all didn't see what happened to King Solomon. They kind of hid, they withheld that portion from you, but it's there. Go find it. You better learn. That's why when King Solomon, he said, look, it is better to eat, drink, be merry, and live a righteous and holy life. But when King Solomon came back, you see, and it also talks about him and his queen, right? He never went back to his harem of women. When he got that together and Yahuwah restored his good common sense to him, it was just him and his queen, and they ruled together in the kingdom, right, y'all? If you ain't ready, go read it. Pull up the Legends of the Jews, right? And therefore has he sent me to show you all these things and say unto you, be of good comfort and fear not, and hasten not with the times that are past to think vain things, that you may not hasten from the latter times. And it shall come to pass after this that I wept again and fasted 7 days in like manner, that I might fulfill the 3 weeks which he told me. And in the 8th night was my heart vexed within me again. And I began to speak before El Elyon, for my spirit was greatly set on fire, and my soul was in distress. Excuse me. And I said, O Yahuwah, you spoke from the beginning of the creation, even the first day, and said thus. Wow, crazy. Y'all, look, I just heard something while I was reading this. I just heard a lot of people are refusing to be born. Ain't that crazy? What we was just talking about? Look, like, it's like they're trying to hold back their birth. Like, we were just talking about coming out of the matrix, but it's going to come a time to where, like, the body is just going to begin to push you out, right? Because wisdom is going to come like in droves to a lot of people. It's like a lot of things that have been hidden is going to become to light, and it's going to force you. It's almost literally going to force you to open your eyes. Like, it's going to be plain for everybody to see, right? You have been refusing to be born all this time, but now you have to see the baby. The baby is here. It's delivery time. Yo, this is, I just heard it while I was reading this, like, and I can clearly see that people fighting against, like, what? No, put me back in the matrix. I don't want to remember this conversation ever happened. That's crazy. And I said, oh, Yahuwah, you spoke from the beginning of the creation, even the first day, and said thus, let heaven and earth be made, and your word was a perfect work. And then was the spirit, and darkness and silence on every side. The spirit of man's voice was not yet formed. Then command you a fair light to come forth of your treasures, that your work might appear. Upon the second day, you made the spirit of the expanse, and commanded it to part asunder, and to make a division betwixt the waters, that the one part might go up, and the other remain beneath the firmament, right? The waters above were separated from the waters below, right? And it's the expanse of space and the firmament separate. That's why the sky looks blue. It's the like the waters are a reflection of the sky, or the sky a reflection of the waters. The waters are the same color, right? There's waters above and there's waters below, right? And that's proven if you go on and pull on that little string about why astronauts practice underwater. Why you need to practice underwater? Because they know if they break through that firmament, water is there. Like, they be trying to pull the wool over everybody's eyes. Y'all go look into that. Yeah, that one day I began to wonder, why are they practicing? Why would astronauts need to practice underwater? Oh, see, because there's like, gravity in space, and so we can get that same effect by doing the training underwater. Yeah, that sounds logical. That sounds logical. It sounds logical, but it's off a little bit. Upon the third day, did you command that the water should be gathered in the 7 parts of the earth? 6 parts have you dried up and kept them, to the intent that of these, some being planted of Yahuwah might till, I'm sorry, planted of Yahuwah and tilled might serve you. For as soon as your word went forth, the work was made. For immediately there was a great and innumerable fruit, and many and diverse pleasures for the taste, and flowers of unchangeable color, and odors of wonderful smell. And this was done the third day. Upon the fourth day, you commanded that the sun should shine, and the moon give her light, and the stars should be in order, and gave them a charge to do service unto man that was to be made. What is that happening? Somebody keep tapping on my window. Upon the 5th day, you said unto the 7th part, where the waters are gathered. Y'all don't hear that tapping. I've been hearing. I'm just thinking, okay, it's probably something out, maybe a squirrel or something at the window, a bird bat. It's bugging me now. Upon the 5th day, you said unto the 7th part, where the waters were gathered, that it should bring forth living creatures, fowl and fish, and so it came to pass. For the dumb water and without life brought forth living things at the commandment of Yahuwah, that all people might praise your wonderful works. Then did you ordain 2 living creatures, the one you called Behemoth and the other Leviathan, and did separate the one from the other. For the 7th part, namely where the water was gathered together, might not hold them both. Unto Behemoth you gave 1 part, which was dried up the 3rd day, that he should dwell in the same part wherein are 1,000 hills. But unto Leviathan you gave the 7th part, namely the moist, or Leviathan lives in the water, Behemoth lives on the earth somewhere where we ain't seen him yet, or they know it yet. Just stay from over here. That is off limits to everybody. Don't go over there. But namely unto Leviathan, you gave the 7th part, namely the moist, and have kept him to be devoured, of whom you will and when. Upon the 6th day, you gave commandment unto the earth, that before you it should bring forth beasts, cattle, and creeping things. And after these, Adam also, whom you made Lord of all your creatures, of him come we all, and the people also whom you have chosen. All this I have spoken before you, O Yahuwah, because you made the world for our sakes. As for the other nations, which also come of Adam, you have said that they are nothing but be like unto spittle, and have likened the abundance of them unto a drop that falls from a vessel. And now, O Yahuwah, behold, these heathens, which have never been reputed as nothing, have begun to be lords over us and to devour us. But we, your people, whom you have called your firstborn, your Yaqid, your son, who is the son of Yah? We are. We are not one, but an entire nation of people. He been said, like all these books, they have these things. They have these things, right? And when you see it in the Old Testament, the son being referred to as one person, a lot of time you will see it in a dream, or Yahuwah is saying, that's my son. Let my son go that he may worship me. Did he come in there and pick out one single person? Or was he talking about all the descendants of Jacob, right? Who was later named Israel. He said, let my son go that he may worship me. Set them free, right? All the way through. That's how you always talks, even with the dreams. When Daniel see dreams, one that looks like the Son of Man. When you get the interpretation a few verses later, go back and read Daniel chapter 7, 8, and 9. Like all of this, even when they see one for the sake of the dream, if you understand the dream, the interpretation, that one will always mean the many, the entire nation. The throne was given over to Yahuwah's people, and there were thrones set up everywhere, all across the earth, and the people of Israel began to rule and reign with Yahuwah, right? The great judge came. Judgment sat down. Judgment sat and began to render judgment, right? It's Yahuwah's people. We're in constant communication with Yahuwah, and we rule righteously this earth. But it's this process is happening, the process of time, right? Listen, and now, O Yahuwah, behold, these heathen, which have ever been reputed as nothing, have begun to be lords over us and to devour us. But we, your people, whom you have called your firstborn, your Yaqid, your fervent lover, are given into their hands. If the world now be made for our sakes, why do we not possess an inheritance with the world? How long shall this endure? Yo, last chapter for the day, y'all. Let me finish reading. How many verses we got here? Lord, have mercy. It is 70 verses for chapter 7. I don't know, y'all. It's Sunday. We'll see where we at. And I'll ask y'all if y'all want me to read like a little paragraph from Fossilized Customs. Like, we're at an hour and 20 minutes, and we just on the 3rd chapter of the reading. Okay. Hezekiah said, where can we go for edification on King Solomon? I have a lot of extreme polygamy fanatics to go talk to. Look, if you go on my channel, anytime you see King Solomon in the title, watch that video, and I give the reference for those things. So that's just a quick reference, but it's a whole section in volume 4 of the Legends of the Jews that goes over everything. A lot of the stuff with King Solomon. So that's just a quick reference for you. And then take it and read it along with the scriptures, the ones that they want to fight you tooth and nail with. Well, this. Well, did you know this is missing information? This was taken from a bigger story. Let's go read the bigger story. See this? Oh, shoot. Now, once truth has been presented to you, now you can just choose to continue to walk in your pride and error, or you can choose to adjust your life, right? Just like the men did during Ezra's time. Oh my gosh, we have violated this. We have taken wives of these nations. Yahuwah told us not to. And what did they do? They put their wives away, right? Because they were still worshiping other gods, like drawing the men away. I ain't telling nobody to go get divorced. I'm just telling you what the book say, right? They began to put, yes, Father, all you say we will do. And they began to separate from their pagan wives and their women, and they began to line themselves up so that Yahuwah's blessing could remain on them or come back on them. Okay. 4th Ezra chapter 7. And when I had made an end of speaking these words, there was sent unto me the angel which had been sent unto me the nights before. So it's Uriel showing back up again. Every time Ezra prays to Yahuwah, he sends Uriel to answer him, right? Okay. But he was fasting all this time, and every time he went away, he said, if you want to know more, go ahead and add 7 more days to your fasting. He said, and I shall show you even greater things. I'm out, homie. I'll see you back if Yahuwah send me to give you an answer again. Peace, And when I had made an end of speaking these words, there was sent unto me the angel which had been sent unto me the nights before. And he said unto me, up, Ezra, and hear the words that I am come to tell you. And I said, speak on, my Elohim. Then he wasn't calling the angel because he know that it's coming from Yah. So let's not get it twisted, right? Elohim is a general term like God. Oh, okay, go ahead and speak. So that's why I brought out this is Uriel. But Uriel is giving the words from Yahuwah to Ezra, right? Okay, so they said, speak on my Lord and my Elohim, right? Then he said unto me, the sea is set in a wide place that it might be deep and great, but put the case, the entrance were narrow and like a river. Who then could go into the sea to look upon it and to rule it? If he went not through the narrow, how could he come into the broad? There is also another thing. A city is built and set upon a broad field and is full of all good things. The entrance thereof is narrow and is set in a dangerous place to fall, like as if there were a fire on the right hand and on the left a deep water. There is but one path between them, even between the fire and the water, so small that there could be one man go there at once. If this city now were given unto a man for an inheritance, if he never shall pass the danger set before it, how shall he receive his inheritance? Well, this just plays it. He come back. He's like, "All right, I see you back with these analogies and stories again. Okay, I'm listening." Right? It's just what we was talking about. The picture within a picture within a picture within a picture. You got to pass through these levels of the matrix. Like the strongest shall survive. If you can make it through here, you can make it. I can trust you out here when you get into the broader waters. I know that you ain't gonna go vagabond and go ham on us out here, right? So sometimes you just got to keep starting the cycle over. Reset your game, my G. You can get it. Just try it again. You failed the obstacle course this time. Try it again. Let's go. Some of y'all to catch that later. If this city now were given unto a man for an inheritance, if he never shall pass the danger before it, how shall he receive this inheritance? And I said, It is so, Adonai. And then said he unto me, Even so also is Yasharal's portion, or even so is Israel, or Yisalili's portion, Israel. Because for their sakes I made the world. And when Adam transgressed my statutes, then was decreed that now is done. Then were the entrances of this world made narrow, full of sorrow and travail, but they are but few and evil, full of perils and very painful. For the entrances of the elder world were wide and sure and brought immortal fruit. Remember, we also mentioned yesterday, he's kind of explaining this. When Adam sinned, remember, the two worlds were as one. Like there was no barrier between the physical world, where Yahuwah made us the best of both worlds, right? We are created from the earth, but also created from him, the earth and his spirit. And we were made to walk simultaneously with both of the worlds like it was at the beginning, right? So Adam and his wife, they had bodies like the angels' bodies who can transverse both worlds, right? We used to could transverse both worlds, but now when you sin, it's like you can't go through it like that anymore. I'm gonna go ahead and lock you into this physical world, and I'm gonna change your flesh a little bit to lock you here. I'm gonna keep you grounded here on this plane. And now you're gonna have to work to get back to what truly is yours. You need to work to get back to Eden, right? You find that way back, but we're gonna go through these obstacle courses. Make sure that those who make it here, you are found worthy to be here because you went through the process and now you understand, right? You understand what my laws mean, what my commands mean, right? You're not going to violate them, right? These are the paths back to life, right? And everybody has to go through this obstacle course. Everybody has to come through the womb of earth to get back to Eden, my G. Look. For the entrances of the elder world were wide and sure and brought immortal fruit. If then they that live labor not to enter these straight and vain things, they can never receive those that are laid up for them. If you can't get it straight down here, don't come here. You ain't coming to screw up stuff in the unseen world, right? Because there's some things that happen in the unseen world that you don't even understand. You can't even begin to comprehend and fathom it, right? Now, therefore, why disquiet yourself, seeing you are but a corruptible man? And why are you moved, whereas you are but mortal? Why have you not considered in your mind this thing that is to come, rather than that which is present? Then I answered and said, O Yahuwah Adonai, you have ordained in your Torah that the righteous should inherit these things, but that the wicked should perish. Nevertheless, the righteous shall suffer straight things and hope for the wide, for they that have done wickedly have suffered the straight things, and yet shall not see the wide. And he said unto me, There is no judge above Yahuwah, and there is none that has understanding above Yahuwah. For there be many that perish in this life, because they despise the Torah of Yahuwah that is set before them. For Yahuwah has given straight commandment to such as came, what they should do to live, even as they came, and what they should observe to avoid punishment. Nevertheless, they were not obedient unto him, but spoke against him, and imagined vain things, and deceived themselves by their wicked deeds, and said of Yahuwah that he is not, and knew not his ways. But his Torah have they despised, and denied his covenants. In his statutes they have not been faithful, and have not performed his works. And therefore Ezra, for the empty are empty things, and for the full are the full things. Behold, the time shall come that these tokens which I have told you shall come to pass, and the bride shall appear, and she coming forth shall be seen, that now is withdrawn from the earth. And whosoever is delivered from the foresaid evils shall see my wonders. For my, hold on. See, here you go right here. If you don't understand right here, this is what this say, right? For my son Yahusha shall be revealed with those that be with him, and they that remain shall rejoice with him 400 years. Right? Okay. So remember, this is not a single person. This is all of his people, right? Scattered to the four corners of the earth, right? And they're going to rejoice with him 400 years. Like, while they're rejoicing, like, we are not rejoicing. Like, you have to understand the story for all this to make sense. You cannot just go pull scriptures out to make things make sense, because it could be a representation of the bigger whole. It was just kind of singling out a little bit. That's the nature. They call it typology. I think that's how you do a typology. That's how they, yeah, that's right. That's you see, that's used throughout the scriptures, right? It gives you a story, like one person, but this one person, you see the same thing in Daniel. Daniel saw this statue, but the statue was a representation of the kingdoms, not one statue, not just one single statue, but the divided statue, the bronze, the gold, the iron, all that, the clay mixed with iron, the feet. They represented kingdoms of people, rules, nations, right? Rulers, nations. Okay. After these years shall my, look, hold on. After these years shall my son die, and all men that have life, and the world shall be turned into the old silent. Hold on. Because I'm thinking right now, hold on. I marked some things in here. And the world shall be turned into the old silence 7 days, like as in the former judgments, so that no man shall remain. And after 7 days, the world that yet awakens not shall be raised up, and that shall die that is corrupt. Let me read that again. And the world shall be turned into the old silence 7 days, like as in the former judgments, so that no man shall remain. And after 7 days, the world that yet awakens not shall be raised up, and that shall die that is corrupt. And the earth shall restore those that are asleep in her, and so shall the dust those that dwell in silence. And the secret places shall deliver those souls that were committed unto them. And El Elyon shall appear upon the seat of judgment, and misery shall pass away, and the long suffering shall have an end. But judgment only shall remain. Truth shall stand, and belief shall wax strong, and the work shall follow, and the reward shall be showed, and the good deeds shall be of force, and the wicked deeds shall bear no rule. Okay, it's like that same type of thing going on, where it's given like a single, but it is representing the whole, right? And everybody, all the works are going to be, all the works that all of us have done are going to be judged by Yahuwah, right? And those that are found to be righteous, you will have the righteous reward, so, but I don't understand all of that, but as we continue to grow, we'll understand more and more. Then said I, Abraham prayed first for the inhabitants. Then said I, Abraham prayed first for the inhabitants of Sodom, and Moshe the fathers that sinned in the wilderness, and Joshua after him for Israel in the time of Achan, and Samuel and David for destruction, and Solomon for them that should come to the sanctuary, and Elijah for those that received rain, and for the dead that he might live, and Ezekiel for the people in the time of Sennacherib, and many for many. Even so now, seeing corruption is grown up, and wickedness increased, and and the righteous have prayed for the wicked. Wherefore shall it not be so now also? He answered me and said, This present life is not the end where much glory abides. Therefore have they prayed for the weak. But the day of doom shall be the end of this time, and the beginning of the immortality for to come. Read that again. But the day of doom shall be the end of this time, and the beginning of the immortality for to come, wherein corruption is past, intemperance is at an end, infidelity is cut off, righteousness is grown, and truth is sprung up. Then shall no man be able to save him that is destroyed, nor to oppress him that has gotten the victory. I answered then and said, This is my first and last saying, that it had been better not to have given the earth unto Adam, or else when it was given to him, to have restrained him from sinning. For what profit is it for men now in this present time to live in heaviness, and after death look for punishment? O Adam, what have you done? For though it was you that sinned, you are not fallen alone, but we all that come of you. For what profit is it unto us if there be promised us an immortal time, whereas we have not done the works that bring death? And that there is promised us an everlasting hope, whereas ourselves being most wicked are made vain. And that there are laid up for us dwellings of health and safety, whereas we have lived wickedly, and that the glory of Yahuwah is kept to defend them which have led a weary life, whereas we have walked in the most wicked ways of all. And that there should be showed a paradise whose fruit endures forever, wherein is security and medicine, since we shall not enter into it. For we have walked in unpleasant places, and that the faces of them which have used abstinence shall shine above the stars, whereas our faces are blacker than darkness. For while we have lived and committed iniquity, we considered not that we should begin to suffer for it after death. Then answered he me and said, This is the condition of the battle, which man that is born upon the earth shall fight. That if he be overcome, he shall suffer, as you have said. But if he get the victory, he shall receive the things that I say. For this is the life whereof Moshe spoke unto the people while he lived, saying, Choose life, that you may live. Nevertheless, they believe not him, nor yet the prophets after him, nor me, which have spoken unto them, that there should be such heaviness in their destruction, and shall be joy over them that are persuaded to salvation. I answered then and said, I know, Adonai, that El Elyon is merciful, in that he has mercy upon them which are not yet come into the world, and upon those also that turn to his Torah, and that he is patient and long suffers those that have sinned as his creatures, and that he is bountiful, for he is ready to give where it needs, and that he is of great mercy, for he multiplies more and more mercies to them that are present and that are past, and also to them which are to come. For if he shall not multiply his mercies, the world could not continue with them that inherit therein. And he pardons, for if he does not so of his goodness, they that which have committed iniquities might be eased of them. The 10,000th part of men should not remain living. And being judged, if he should not forgive them that are cured in this word, and being judged, if he should not forgive them that are cured with his word, and put out the multitude of contentions, there should be very few left, perchance an innumerable multitude. And that, my beautiful people, is the reading for today. That was extremely long. That took us an hour and 40 minutes, hour 39 minutes. It probably would have been 10 minutes shorter had I not added my stories in along the way. But what y'all think? Y'all got time for fossilized customs today? I'll let y'all choose today. Somebody let me know on Facebook and YouTube. I mean, I can go if y'all can go. Y'all let me know. Yeah or nay? Let me see what we at, what we'll be reading. Yeah, y'all let me know. Okay, it's going more into the ringleaders of the Nazi ring. What you think? Ain't nobody said nothing. We had an hour and 39 minutes. I'll wait for somebody to answer. Yeah, nay. First answer wins. I'm ready. Okay, Shayla, let's get it. All right, so we'll read with an hour and 39 minutes. If you gotta go ahead and go. But we'll probably read this little section till we get to the myth of slaying the bull. Okay. All right, y'all. Here's the picture that is showing right here. If you got the book, you know what it is. Oh, this is page 130. Oh, hold on, wait. Oh, we read all 129. Yeah, so we start on page 130 today. Yeah, so this picture says, our authority is above scripture. And this is a church or a circus father. The father's from the catechetical school of Alexandria. And in his hands, it has the Nicolaitans, right? So they've said that they have authority to change the words of Yah, which we know that's garbage. They don't, right? Okay. We claim apostolic succession. We claim apostolic succession, so do what we say. Yep. So there's also this big old debate about whether prophets still live or if they're even apostles. There was no apostles back in, which is true. They didn't call them apostles. Yahuwah called them his priests and prophets, right? And those who were the mouthpiece were the prophets. Yahuwah never spoke about apostles or any of the other fivefold ministry leaders. Not saying that they don't exist. Clearly they exist, but Yahuwah didn't give any kind of, we didn't see him giving any kind of credence to it. Yahuwah specifically spoke about the priests who were ordained to teach, which they kind of broke that up into the fivefold ministry, like you call them pastors, and you have teachers, different ones that kind of break it out into a deeper. I ain't saying that's authorized because that ain't what Yahuwah said, but I get it. I ain't, but there is this argument about that. It's a valid argument, right? I'd say, what do Yahuwah say? Let's just kind of stick with the ground rules of what Yahuwah is saying. We know that things can grow from certain places, but we need to make sure it's growing in the right direction. We need to make sure it ain't growing in a bent or in a curve, taking people off with it and go back into the ground. We need to make sure it's growing upright, right? And so we stay on the right path. We claim apostolic succession, so do what we say. Where does all this information we are gathering place us in the grand scheme? What religion or way, halak of living, does all this point to? Since the broad road can be exposed as the diverse sects traced to individual men who came out of one or another sect themselves, let's just look past them all and only look at the one. Look, see, he part of this too. And talking about let's look only at the one who walked out of the tomb. Yahuwah said, I am not man that I should lie. I don't need to trap myself into this maze that I put here for y'all to grow up, right? I created this. I need y'all to come back up here with me. I am not man that I'm not man, and neither am I the son of man that I need to repent. At what time do I need to repent? I need to repent of nothing, right? I'm not man. Only man needs to do that, right? Yet they said Yahuwah has made himself man. No, I am not man, and neither am I the son of man that I need to repent. I'm perfect. So scratch it out right there, right? Because Yahuwah didn't walk out of the tomb. He created this. He only need to walk out of the tomb. What is his religion? Oh, and I skipped down. I actually went ahead and I crossed out some of this stuff. So, okay. What is his religion? And I skipped down. What's this? Two sentences because that was garbage. So I just crossed it out. And I pick it back up down here. He discusses this divorce before the renewed covenant happened at Isaiah chapter 50. And Jeremiah 3, faithless Israel, his wife, was given a certificate of divorce when the northern house of Israel was carried into captivity by the Assyrians in 722 BCE. Later in 586 BCE, the house of Judah was likewise carried into captivity by the Babylonians. Their captivity ended with 10% of the people returning after 70 years. The northern tribes were warned to repent at Ezra 4 and would have spent 390 years in captivity for their idolatry with the Asherim trees. Remember the Asherim trees today? We see them as Christmas trees, right? It's also a representation of Nimrod's missing member, his penis that his nasty mama wife couldn't find. She said she was pregnant by. So get them trees out your house. Burn them. Do something with them. Get them out your house. They didn't. So the sevenfold penalty kicked in, Leviticus 26, and their captivity has lasted 2,730 years. 722 BCE to 2008 CE, the prodigal son is turning back to the Torah, and the olive tree is blossoming. The husband pleaded, "Return to me, and I will return to you." Remember, before a wife can remarry, he shouldn't even added this in here, right? But I get what he's saying. Before a wife can remarry, her husband must die. Not. I see what he's saying based on what the New Testament teaches. That's not necessarily. He's trying to give credence to is this blood covenant contract, and that is not the case, right? So I scratched it out because it's that string you got to pull. You got to undo this, right? This. In latter times, these things we finally understand. He has taken the same covenant people, his bride, and those he had sown into the Gentiles that were natural branches broken off long ago, and made a renewed covenant with his bride. Yeah, all this is gross. That is gross and gross misunderstanding. Hold on. I'm sorry, y'all. There's so much I would need to add to that to prove that that is wrong based on what Yahuwah said. Hold on. Yeah. See, I get how he's trying to explain this, but this is wrong. Okay. So all of this. I didn't catch this. Okay. Down to the part where it says Nazarene. All of the rest of that, after the husband pleaded, "Return to me and I return to you." After that, the rest of that paragraph, that's 11, right? Okay. So jump down to Nazarene. Better Nazarene. Nazarene means watchman and branches. The word found for watchman at Jeremiah 31 is the word Nazarene. See also Acts 24 and 5. Paul was not a ringleader of the sect of Christians, but rather the Nazarene. Our faith does not have a Greek name. Our walk is the Torah of Yahuwah. Denominations have many names and strict teaching authorities so that others will know what compartment to put them in. There are thousands of sectarian groups: Roman Catholic, Eastern Orthodox Catholic, Quakers, Shakers, Baptists, Mennonites, Amish, Pentecostals, Church of God, Christian Church, Mormons, Jehovah's Witness, Seventh-day Adventists, and so on. Each views all the rest as having serious doctrinal errors. It says, yet the Mashiach is nothing even close to any of them. See, that the word Messiah, Mashiach, it's one of those blurred line type words where it gets you, just because of the teaching in the Christian church, it blurs the lines from Yahuwah alone to now his son is Savior, delivered. They're mixing stuff. And we have to get rid of the blurred lines so everybody can see black and white, right? Okay. Let's see. Now we come to the Nazarene. We are not organized as a financial corporation. There's only a spiritual head, and we are all the members of his body with diverse gifts. We are all so different. We may not recognize each other necessarily by anything but how we live, or sometimes our tzitzits or tassels. All right, this next section is called Messianics. Oh yeah. Let me see how far this goes. Okay, we'll read this. Messianics. There is another handle, sometimes uncommonly understood to be descendants of Abraham, who believe in the Mashiachship of Rabbi Yahushua. All Nazarene are Messianics, but not all Messianics are Nazarene. Sure, many former Gentiles are Nazarene and Messianics. Some Messianics are really practicing Christianity, Constantine's invention, but using Hebrew terms and symbols. The elect can even be deceived, as it, see this right here. He too, if it were possible, the very elect would be deceived. But he got the elect can even be deceived, as it was prophesied, and many of them have no clue of the message of the reign of Yahuwah, nor what the renewed covenant is. And let's just hit on it real quick. We always do, but just in case somebody watch this video that's still here and they thinking that the renewed covenant is JC down on the cross for our sins, that is not what Yahuwah said. Yahuwah tells you exactly what his renewed covenant is, and we'll read it in the Old Testament. You'll read, I believe it's Jeremiah. He said, this is the covenant that I'm going to make with them, the renewed covenant that I'm going to make with them. That them same laws, statutes, and commands that I gave to your ancestors, that they getting the same thing. That's my renewed covenant. But the only thing I'm going to change, and I'm not changing anything about the covenant, I'm changing how I give it to them. This time, I'm not going to give it to them on tablets. This is the only thing about the covenant. There's nothing different from the first covenant that those before JC and those that got it after JC, right? It's the same exact covenant, right? He said, this time, I'm not going to give it to them on tablets like I did your ancestors. This time, I'm going to inscribe it on their hearts, right? And we know one of the processes of him inscribing it on our hearts, you got to look at it. Look, you got to look at it. One of the ways that Yahuwah inscribes his Torah indelibly on our hearts, and it's not the only way, but I know this to be true from personal experience, it gets there when we begin to wake up like, why are we always the butt of everything? What is happening? Why is this? Oh, we know you real because we hear your voice. You helped us all alive, but why? Why is it still happening to us? Go read what I said, because you turned from my law, statutes, and commands away. We did what? And so now we begin to search out what his law, statutes, and his commands are, right? He has given us ample time in this last captivity. He wanted to make sure that the heat is turned up so high in the fire, and it burns that tail so good that we're gonna get tired of these guys that we wanted to worship out here doing what all the other nations did, and we're gonna come looking for help. Maybe this ain't working. Maybe this is what he meant when he said, I'll let you do what thou wilt. Do whatever you want to do. If it feels good, do it. You can do that in those places. He said it's going to come to a head, and you're going to get tired of it, right? It's going to become a disgusting thing. You can come looking for me. I'm going to be sitting here watching, right? And we're going to begin diligently searching, which is where we found ourselves. We're reading Jubilees that say, and them in those days, they are going to begin to come to themselves in their land of captivity, and they're going to begin to search for me, and they're going to look for me. We got flashlights. You got a lighter? No, the batteries there. We need some kind of light. Like everything, we are scrambling to find him, right? And his words, and when they come into us, they are. It's giving us life right now, right? And it's opening our eyes, and by us searching, by us doing the work, breaking through the matrix, the picture within the picture within the picture within the picture, we strengthen ourselves. Just like when we talked about me and my mom, my sister talked about this last night. Just like a baby chick or anything that's born into a shell, you will cripple that what is being born, you will cripple it if you hinder its process by helping it to break out of its shell. Like it qualifies itself to live in this world by being able to break through its own shell, because you gain strength by being able to break through the adversity that's going to give you the strength that you're going to need to live. Think about a seed. It can't grow until it's been sown into the ground. We're going to cover it up with dirt, and we're going to give it everything it needs. Now, we'll watch over the situations around this soil. Like we see the process everywhere in life, y'all. We see the process everywhere in life. With those of us who have gone back to gardening and learning how to garden and take care of plants and stuff, like you see the process happening. All we have control over is planting that seed, right? It's Yahuwah that gives the increase, right? We can plant the seed and we can begin to water it. We can pray over it, but we cannot do anything with that seed. It's the unseen forces that begin to take place that will cause that seed to begin to break through and sprout. And when I see my seedlings popping through the ground, it's like, oh snap, my green beans coming up, because you can see them. It's almost like they're breaking out of a shell, like a baby chicken stuff. It's like they come up and they kind of look bent over a little bit, and then they get that sun and they begin to stand up upright. Their strength and they begin to grow. It's such an amazing process, and it blows my mind every single time, right? Look, so that's what the covenant is. He said, I ain't changing nothing about this. It was perfect from the beginning. Like some people say, oh, we couldn't walk in that. If they couldn't even keep to it. Who told y'all that crap? No, you think you can't keep to it because of the leaven that's been added into it, and it seems impossible. But once you realize what leaven is and how it's been added, and you begin to take it all out, that's why I told you about my Bible I got where I'm going through crossing out everything, sacrifice, blood sacrifice. That's one of the big pieces of leaven. It was added in the Old Testament just like the New, because if you go through, even if you read in Leviticus, you can see what kind of stands out where Yahuwah says, like y'all, it's some even, we ain't gonna get too much into it, but you can tell when you read it enough, you will begin to see things just kind of sit aloof from the scriptures. It breaks truth apart. You can see the break in it. Yahuwah say, do this, but then they add, and be sure to do this and give one lamb and this and this and this. And you do so like, wait, there's a that why? Because in my life, as I've transitioned to a plant-based diet, it's like, okay, you given herbs for the healing of the nations. Why then would you tell us to eat meat? Like, why would you make why would you make your priest? Why would you make this thing a slaughter fest and handing out meat, telling your priest to eat? Like, you want to go deeper down the rabbit hole? Like, seriously, you want to take the red pill? You want to see how deep this rabbit hole get? Think about this. It's common sense when you begin to wake up. Okay, now I know I can see this principle and I can tell there's leaven. Something is wrong with this book. Something is wrong with what you gave. There's poison in here. I know it's good, but you didn't coated some poison with candy, and I'm detecting it. I'm not gonna eat, and I said it, and I'm gonna pull it apart. What is this? What is this? What is this? Right? Yeah, urban Israelite, no meat eating. Right? That's another hole, and people ready to fight you. Okay, you ain't ready for that yet, but keep on reading. Keep on searching after y'all a little bit longer, and you're going to see just what we see, right? Because Yahuwah is the giver of life. If science and medical proof now shows that eating meat will deteriorate your body, it will cause cancers because it putrefies in your system. It causes all type of disease, especially if it's not cleaned appropriately. Some people are like, well, he said we could eat the clean meats. It's still okay. So you'll take a little longer to die. And I ain't getting no meat eaters. Y'all get what I'm saying? But you have to see the truth in this based on what we can physically test in our life, in our realm, right? And that's really, as I began to do that, when I went plant-based a couple years ago, the sacrifices began to really bother me. Y'all hear me say it? If y'all go back a couple years, I was like, y'all, these sacrifices won't let me go. I was like, it's something wrong here, because I was struggling. I'm like, okay, we done ran into another contradiction, or what I'm perceiving to be a contradiction here. Okay, now I know, like, my father, look, I ain't eating meat no more. And I know when I was testing it and I got sick and I stopped eating meat, my body began to heal itself. I was like, but then I had this one thing, I just need a piece of fish fried fish with some hot sauce and stuff, my body began to, it didn't immediately, but I could immediately feel the results. Like they call it the meat sweats. Not that I ate a lot, but you can feel the difference. Your body literally has to put you to sleep to break this down and process this stuff through, but it can't always fully push it all the way out, which is why it sits in your colon for so long. And our colon intestines are so long that it never passes all the way through. You literally have to do a cleanse, a few different cycles to cleanse your colon. People who have colon cancer, it's from somebody tell me, you say you got colon cancer, I know you was a big meat eater, right? It can be reversed, right? But you have to cleanse out the foreign things that are causing you to die. Yahuwah say, choose life that you may live. Okay, if he is the giver of life, he's the creator of life, and he's telling us to choose life, why is it okay that we eat meat now that we know it's killing us, right? When you stop eating meat, you will literally begin to see yourself age in reverse. So something is wrong. All those that are fighting with, it said, what about the diet? I'm here to tell you that the Levitical dietary with the meat and the clean, it's also leaven. Some of y'all may be unsubscribed for that, but I'm telling you what I know based on what I can test here in my life, in my time, in my realm, based on, I say, somebody lying, and I know it ain't Yah. Either Yah has lied or man has added something that's lying, that's leading us down the path. So I say you got to be careful. It's leaven in the Old Testament, just like it was added in the New. And the animal sacrifices is the main thing, that is the main portion of leaven that keeps people off, because the Old Testament leaven of the sacrifice and animal sacrifices leads you up to the human sacrifice abomination in the New Testament. You can't take away one and not take away the other one. You have to take away them both to make it make sense. Like I watched Yaki the other day, and I was like, these brothers is getting it. Yaki was talking about, because he was a part of a Hebrew group that was teaching the scriptures and stuff, but his what he does left and right is the herbs and stuff, because that's what he do, right? He used to be on drugs and drinking and stuff, but he began to cleanse up his body, and this is literally his life now. And he's very thorough in his knowledge. And so he said, while he was doing it, he was also teaching. He came, church, and Hebrew brothers was sitting and talk about it. He said he had to pull himself away when he began to come into the stuff. He said, and the meat eating is what got him, because remember, now he's plant-based and he's looking at all this, and he's running. He has his own clinic now. His staff, all, and they're tracking stuff. Meat kills the body. Plant-based lifestyle gives you life and actually restores the body, right? So just like at the very beginning, I think Urban Israelite, Genesis 2:2, he gave us plants to eat for meat. He never said to kill the animals. You are right, and people get that. Look, when the scripture talks about meat, see, it's one of them disgusting English words, y'all. They playing with the disgusting English language to keep you off. You got words that sound the same, but you have different words like meat, and I think meat too sounds like you can meet someone and you can eat meat, right? They give words the same sound, but they spell them different to decipher, and you will never see that in the original language. There is a word for everything. Like, you're not combining words like meat and meat. No, so there is no confusion. There's no blurred lines. It's black and white, right? The English language blurs it to further keep you asleep into the delusion. Oh yeah, you can eat meat. No, you can add some meat on your salad, on your greens and herbs there, but you're defeating the purpose, and you're never going to get fully whole. You're never going to get fully healed. You're never going to get the clarity of mind returned back to you, like Alzheimer's and all these things. All of that is not going to 100% go until you completely come off of the meat altogether. And I know it's a process with people. I used to be a meat eater, y'all. Like, bacon on my burgers and everything. I know. So I ain't coming down on y'all. It's a process. But my process just kind of sped up a little bit because I got sick. And you can liken it to pregnancy, but they was telling me, oh, you got diabetes, and it's probably not just gestational diabetes. Your sugar is so high, you probably had diabetes before you even got pregnant. That's why even after my third child, They kept me on like higher risk. I'm like, no, we fixed that with that child. That's when Yahuwah began to get my attention about stuff in the body. I'm like, wait a minute. Okay, so if this is killing the body, why is this saying why you got a whole priest set apart to kill animals, to slaughter them and then eat them? They're eating it because sacrifices is food, right? Yeah. So why are they eating things that eventually kill them? Something is not right. I said, I know you don't lie, so I'm thinking this is lying. This has been added. And that's what I've come to understand. Some people may not agree, but I'm telling you, keep on going. Keep on going. Keep on growing in your process of life and returning to truth. You're going to begin to see all these contradictions or the added leaven in here to kind of keep you mixed up and aloof from the truth, y'all. So, okay, let me finish reading this paragraph right here. Then we're going to stop. We are over our time. Okay, look. Many of them have no clue of the message of the reign of Yahuwah, nor know what the renewed covenant is. If you can read this book and still not know what these are, then I failed miserably. I am a Nazarene and a Messianic, clearly, because he still keep pushing the blood sacrifice, right? But the other stuff, everything else he got in here is 100% on point. He ain't got over the blood sacrifice yet. That's why we keep going through and scratching this out when he adds stuff, and, So, but so that's why we're doing it, y'all. So just like you got to do that with the Bible, scratching out this leaven, scratching out the lies, so you can it makes sense now. And when you remove that leaven, it flows together perfectly. Like, oh, we can do that. Like, we can do that anywhere in the world. Like, because when you get into that, like, nobody could keep that. Nobody got bulls and goats because it was never required of us, right? Remove all the leaven. That's why Yahuwah said, wherever you live on the earth, keep this. All right. Okay. So what if we live upon the earth? Okay. I ain't got bulls and goats to slaughter. There's no temple. There's no priest. How can we even keep this? So no, JC came and did all this is on him. No, we got this. No, it's leaven. You can keep this. He said, and I said, keep it wherever you are upon the face of the earth, right? In the land and out of the land, but more so even when you're in my land, but this can be kept no matter where you at, four corners of the earth, right? And you're going to be without king, temple for a very long time, but I'm still going to require these same exact things of you. Why? Because all this extra stuff that y'all been begging for and asking that the other nations got, I've never required it, right? Yo, hold on. I am also a Yehudi, a worshiper of Yah. Like, you got to stop doing both and worship one alone. My son Adam attended a school where he was often made fun of by Christians because the other children had no idea what a Nazarene Israelite is. Their handle is a Greek term, and they are taught by their parents, teachers, and community at large to celebrate Christmas, Easter, Halloween, some of them, and keep Sunday as a day of worship. We worship by obeying every day. What about tithing? Our giving is as the writings require, and part of this is explained at 1 Timothy 5. At 5:16, the assembly of believers not only helps support the needs of the elders or those who are aged, but widows and their children, the fatherless. It even says that the assembly should not be burdened with legitimate widows if she has family that can help her instead. In fact, it says at 5:8, if anyone does not provide for his relatives and especially for his immediate family, he has denied the faith and is worse than an unbeliever. But he used some of these scriptures from the New Testament, which can clearly be found in the Old Testament. And I was like, why is he not just using the authority for this? Because clearly he's a Nazarene, right? Uh-oh, this is about to die. My phone and Facebook about to go. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. Okay, we almost done. All right. It even says that the assembly should not be burdened with legitimate widows if she has a family that can help instead. 5:16. In fact, it says at 5:8, if anyone does not provide for his relatives and especially for his immediate family, he has denied the faith and is worse than an unbeliever. Elders who need to eat also are worthy of double honor if they direct the affairs of the assembly well. I'm in full-time ministry and only receive from those who are in the office of giving, as were the wealthy women that supported Yahusha in his work, Luke chapter 8. It certainly doesn't mean the elders receive the whole tithe, nor is it for spreading the gospel. You are the letter. You spread the message of the reign of Yahuwah. We elders are here to teach, encourage, and guide. We are here to teach, encourage, and guide so many of you can become elders. The word elder in Hebrew is zakan, Z-A-K-N. Z-A-K-N, and is the same word for beard, with only a vowel sound change. It came into the Greek using the word presbus, P-R-E-S-B-U-S, the root of Presbyterian. Then it took another turn in the word bishop. We're just brothers with a responsibility. We're not any more important. Paul was Timothy's elder, and Paul considered Timothy an elder and told him not to be hasty in laying on of hands. Armed with knowledge, anyone can objectively see that most have wandered from the faith. The stubborn and ignorant cannot repent until they are changed inside spiritually. Hold on. Okay, yeah. So this example that's leading people the wrong way, but it says if each of us tunes to, he said Yahushua, but if each of us tune ourselves to Yahuwah, then we are automatically in unity. So let me just, we'll do this. Yeah. He gave a good example, but it's still a little leaven. He could have used Yahuwah alone, but I don't want to keep pushing the narrative of the leaven. All right, y'all. So that's it. We're gonna pause right here on page 132. I know this is the longest we've ever gone, y'all. Okay, and we almost done with second Ezra. So the readings won't be that long. They'll go back to being normal size chapters, but they fit a lot in this little short book. So, all right, y'all. It is Sunday. Thanks for sticking with me this long. Those that stuck around as we got through it. It is Sunday, June the 6th, 2021, day 173 of year 3 of reading through the books of the law and the prophets. And of the 3-year consecutive day count, day 842, we read the Apocrypha, 4th Ezra's, chapter 5, 6, and 7, and we read Fossilized Customs, starting on page 129 to page 132. All right, and let's go ahead and do the blessing. I know some people had to go, and that's fine. They'll catch the replay. All right, y'all. So the blessing is found in Numbers chapter 6. Remember, the first 21 verses is a Nazirite vow, and a man or a woman can take it. Starting at verse 22, all the way to the end of the chapter, verse 27. And Yahuwah spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto Aaron and unto his sons, saying, On this wise ye shall bless the children of Israel, saying unto them, May Yahuwah bless us and keep us. May Yahuwah make his face to shine upon us and be gracious unto us. May Yahuwah lift up his countenance upon us and give us peace. And they shall put my name upon the children of Israel, and I will bless them. All right, y'all. That is it. There are no questions over here on Facebook. Let me double check. Okay. Y'all were talking amongst yourselves. Oh, you can do it, Hezekiah. Make the transition, bro. Make the transition. Come on over to the light side. I mean, you over to the light side, but come up another level and see what we see. Yo, you can do it. You can do it. Okay. Oh, you don't mind the length? Yeah, I know, but people got to get to work, and sometimes it's like, yeah, if I could, I would. I'd stay all day. Like sometimes you can get into conversations with people, and it's like, man, it's already been 2 hours. It don't even seem like that because you're so engrossed in the conversation. Everybody's engaged, and it's just time. It's like, where does the time go, right? But yeah, but I want to be respectful of everybody's time, and we'll get to it. In the process of time, we will get to everything. But if y'all got any more comments or whatever, just leave them down here at the bottom of this video. And as I come back and check, I'll respond. I try to answer everybody's question, but if it's something that you don't quite understand. If I know, I'll let you know. If I don't know, I'll be like, I don't quite understand that yet, and I'm not really sure about the revelation of this, but I know it's something. I just don't know yet. Somebody else might know, but I don't yet. I'm going to be honest with you. If I make a mistake, we're going to correct it. If you see something, point it out. I ain't got the big head. Let me know, because I'm trying to get to higher levels, breaking through these levels of the matrix. Any kind of feedback, I'm taking it as corrective criticism. Corrective criticism, And I know y'all do too. So with that being said, y'all, we out of here. Love y'all. See y'all tomorrow, 7:15 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And this Sabbath that's coming up this week will be the last Sabbath of this moon cycle, y'all. And then we got a new moon that's coming up towards the end of the week. We're looking forward to a show on Friday, but like I said, we're gonna watch and just make sure, because remember, pre-calculating sometime we might be off, but we just want to make sure we get the cycles right and still watch, right? Okay. Do you accept the Paul doctrine and letters? Paul, look, some people don't believe me. Paul is a shenaniganizer to me. Paul who? Who's this Paul? I don't care what Paul said. Paul is crafty with his words and his letters. And although people try to no, see, this is what he was saying. See, no, because he know the Torah. No, I've been reading it. And I see the craft that Paul uses. Like, y'all think, oh, he done came over. Paul done came over. He isn't this the one who used to persecute the Christians? He's still persecuting the Christians. He's just doing it a little bit different. He's using craft with you all now, right? Because he see it's better. If you can't beat them, join them. But to join them is to use craft to get you, and still, like, the whole Paul has done a great disservice. And I know some people think that sounds like complete blasphemy. That sounds like complete blasphemy, especially if you love Paul the Apostle, who never even met JC. Said he had this experience on the road to Damascus. But don't get me started, y'all. Look, go look up Galileo. Look, don't get me started with Paul. Some people love Paul. I don't know if they want to come to that part of the rabbit hole yet. Y'all want to come to that part of the rabbit hole yet? Let me know. I'll circle back for y'all. Let me tell you about your Apostle Paul. Yeah, but look. Yeah, look, Paul literally said, teach Christ unto the Jews a stumbling block, and people still take him seriously. Like, yo, like, it's just, Paul thoroughly mind everybody. He thoroughly mind screws everybody who don't know Yahuwah's word or is not familiar with the words of Yah. Because I catch Paul coming and going. I'm telling y'all, you have to watch Paul. People who are really learned or really understand they understand it to a fault, to where they take it and they use it against you and craftily word things to make you, they lead you in a direction. It's like, oh yeah, that sounds right. Wait, what? Wait, okay, wait. Okay, Paul. But so you got an internal thing going on, but it's like he's so good with his smooth sounding words that it takes you like that fragrance and brings you out the house. Like, you ever seen Tom and Jerry, some of the cartoon, when a pie come out the oven and he outside, and that the whiff of that aroma begins to grab you by your nostrils and pull you out from where you're supposed to be. Paul is a shenaniganizer to me. All right, y'all. Let me go. I'll see y'all back here tomorrow, 7:15 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Peace.